Hey, it's just after Christmas and I got a new webcam, so no excuses. I'm actually making a video. It's Forever Alone Friday, which, like just about every Friday, I'm alone in my apartment while my roommates are being productive members of society and are at work. And me, the socialite that I am, I'm socializing with people on Tumblr and stuff. So, new webcam. You can see stuff a little bit better, huh? Can't you? So I'll show you a tour of what you can see here. Like this, that's a Betty White calendar. That is a Doctor Who poster, a reference to Portal 2, Escher. Escher scares me, by the way. I don't know why. Grasshoppers. I don't know. And a Kate Beaton comic, a Seinfeld poster, and a picture of a stop sign that says, "Don't stop loving me." Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. But I do have to explain myself slightly. So, my last video was a long time ago. I think it was in July or sometime from thereabouts. Basically, it was me saying that I don't want to be Mormon anymore, and I couldn't say it out loud, so I wrote it on a whiteboard, and I, shot the different things I wanted to say, and it was really, I really needed to do that. It was the first step in many steps that have needed to be taken. So I've had a couple people message me like, "Oh, why aren't you making videos anymore," or whatever, and I think one person left a comment something about, well, just because you're having tough times, you don't have to throw everything away. Actually, I shouldn't actually reference that comment because I haven't read it in a couple months. But I just thought I'd just do an update video. So, why did I stop making videos? It was basically because I was at a point that I needed to stop. I really did. These videos, for whatever, I don't know if they're of much worth to other people, but this is the Forever Alone Friday sad truth of my life. I have no one to talk to. So, and I'm a person that needs to sort of verbalize things in order to work them out. So these videos are sort of served as a kind of therapy for me, working through, thought processes, expressing how I feel about, the collision of doctrine, spirituality, Mormonism, and asexuality, or just non-heterosexuality. Yeah. So, I think I came to the point where I realized that that was the case. About the time I made my last video, I realized, okay, my mind is so wrapped up in all of this, I need to take a step back, because it's like I wasn't willing to get rid of, in my mind, and this isn't the same, this isn't true for everybody, this is just true for me. Religion and asexuality, at least my religion and asexuality, are they're incompatible completely. And asking for me to, give up one for the other is like asking me which arm I want to cut off. It's not a good question. It's not a good scenario. But in the end, it's something that I had to do. Like, I was being torn apart. There have been, it's kind of private, so I'm not going to go into it. But let's just say that I was doing some pretty self-destructive shit because of the tension that was formed as a result of this conflict, this inner conflict that I had. And so it came to the point where I had this big epiphany, and I was like, okay, I have to take a good long look at this. I can't just be apologetic anymore. This crap is freaking scary. I have to make a choice. Do I choose, to back off? I'm not saying what to reject, but which to back off from. Do I back off from Mormonism after investing myself so heavily in it? Or do I back myself off from asexuality? And the more comfortable, it would have been much more comfortable for me to have stuck with Mormonism, because it is something familiar. It's something that I've stuck with my whole life. It's something that up until now I've considered to be an absolute truth to, well, I shouldn't say that, a relative truth to a degree. But the way I thought of it was, I've given Mormonism, well, say I read the Bible the first time when I was like 11 or so. So if you look at it that way, I've given Mormonism a good, damn it, now I have to do math, good 13, 14 years of my life. At least after having read the canon of scripture for the first time at the age of 11 or 12. So yeah, I've given Mormonism that long, and, I've given my asexuality not very long at all. And, if I had to choose between the two, I'm gonna choose asexuality because it feels more honest. It just feels honest. It's not something that my family's been able to accept very well at all. Um, I've had to deal with some crap there, but I'm dealing with it. I don't know. It's sort of hard for me sometimes. Honestly, I think that's why I've actually made some of these videos, is because I'm very divorced from my feelings. I really am. It's not like I don't feel anything. I am not a robot. Robot. I am a robot. No, I'm not like a total robot, although sometimes I'm. No. Um, it's just the fact that like maybe certain feelings happen and I ignore them or I excuse them away, or I feel like I have to be too much of a badass to pay attention to, I don't know, feeling sad or feeling confused or anything like that. Whatever. The point is, sometimes I'm just sort of broadsided by, like, I guess emotional needs every once in a while. It's not very dramatic. It's not like I'm not one of those people that has emotional explosions or anything, but I'm surprised by my own feelings as a result of it. It's like I've compartmentalized my mind, and emotions are in their complete separate box. And I think the point behind bringing up all of that is that I really had this epiphany. I really had this very big realization that something had to give, and I had to make a choice as to what. So that's what I chose. And you know, I've had to be very, very honest about my relationship with my religion over the years even. It's only now, after having removed myself from that context, that I'm starting to look back and see kind of the thought processes that I've gone through the years. Not just when I discovered asexuality, but I've always been very skeptical and very skeptical, scrupulous. I have challenged whatever has been told me. Like, for example, when I was a kid, they would have us sing songs, you know, it was like nursery or whatever they called it. It was basically like church daycare. So they'd have us sing all these songs, and there was a song, "I love to see the temple, I'm going there someday," and all the other kids would just be like, blah, blah, blah. They'd be singing it, and here I am in the back of the classroom, arms folded like this. What is this temple place? Do I want to go to the temple? Do I really want to see it someday? I don't know. I think that they might just be trying to indoctrinate me, because these are not my opinions and I refuse to sing this song. Like, I was like just a little kid and they didn't know what to do with me. They really didn't. I remember the adults basically being worried for my soul because of this crap. They'd sit me down, and I think that's just kind of the pattern that's defined my life with religion, is that I've listened to it, I've exposed myself, I haven't made blind judgments, I've exposed myself to the material, I've analyzed it, and I've had my own objections, but I've been willing to be apologetic here and there, and, you know, to sort of, you know, okay, we'll continue this little argument and take it forward. But as a result of that, people in authority have not, religious authority, have not really gotten along with them very well. Like, I was called out in Utah. There's a thing called seminary, which kids in high school basically take a class on Mormonism. They can't take it directly through the school for obvious reasons, but they get released from school, and one of the classes that you take through high school is the seminary class. And I'm the only person I know who's gotten called into the seminary office to be like reprimanded for the questions I was willing to ask and the issues I was willing to bring up. Because I think within the Mormon community, there's a real problem with censorship. They say, oh, you can ask any question, and if you pray about it and read your scriptures and listen to what God tells you, then you'll know the answer. But that's not totally true. There are some questions that they just don't want you to ask, and I think I know that from a lifetime of asking them. So I worried the crap out of people as a kid, worried my seminary teachers on my mission. Yeah, my mission president's wife was, yeah, she didn't exactly like my trains of thought. And some people just, they have to think about things like within this very, very safe parameters, whereas I like to think all sorts of outside the box. It's fun for me. That's one of the reasons why I like religions, in, you know, plural. I like learning about religions or trains of thought or philosophies in general, because to me they're almost like games. You set up parameters of reality and you can just sort of mess with them.